Good morning, everyone, and welcome to installment 2. This is the second part of the series where we're talking about sales and entrepreneurship. And I am extremely happy to have my good friend and, of course, our Jamaican counterpart here, Beverly, here with us to talk a little bit more about sales and entrepreneurship. Now, Beverly, I don't normally do many introductions for people, right? So I'm going to give you the floor. The most I've said is that you're not from Trinidad, you're from Jamaica.
Yeah,
right?
man.
So I'm going to give you the floor to introduce yourself, tell the folks and they, of course, where you're from, the industries and stuff that you've been able to work within, exactly as to what is it that you do. And then, of course, we just go from there.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for having me, and congratulations on this brilliant idea to talk to like-minded persons.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm Beverly Thompson, CEO of Hulaine Strategic Services. We are a sales training and leadership development company. We like to talk about sales and leadership mastery because that's what I kind of focus on. We develop in-company customized sales workshops, and we have what we call the Sales Mastery Series, and it looks at all elements of the sales process. So we do sales workshops as well. We do sales retreats. We do coaching. We do speaking engagements. We do leadership development. We work in some parts of the Caribbean because some of our customers have footprint throughout the region. Right. And so we do that as well. So pretty much that's what Hulaine Strategic Services does.
Oh, great. And that is wonderful. So as you know, we like to talk about sales, right? So we are going straight into that first question. As you know, I do a lot of work with my good buddy, Jared Best Mitchell, and we started off sales as a profession. And one of the things that I have actually seen are some gaps in relation to the sales fraternity along the lines of, let's say, people not understanding their value proposition properly. They're not communicating that properly to the customers. What I've also found is that it's not always subject to Trinidad and Tobago alone. So I normally like to ask people, what are some of the things that you, as a professional, as an expert in relation to sales, what are some of the things that you've been seeing from the interaction with your customers, from you just being a consumer and interacting with other salespeople trying to sell your stuff?
Yes.
That gap, and where do you see some of the main challenges are as it relates to organizations and the sales?
Okay, well, thank you. Great question. I've been a sales professional most of my life, and I've led sales teams, developed them and dismantled them, put them together, reorganized them, restructure them, pretty much. Right. Employed and do other things with the sales organization. So I come with a wide kind of perspective on sales. And so in my looking at sales, I'm not like just looking at selling. I'm more an organizational view. I'm looking at all the interdependencies that have to collaborate and communicate and work together. Now, what I've seen, I'm going to take it from two perspectives. Sure. I'm going to take it from leadership perspective because I think that's a biggie. No matter what systems and process you have, if we have some gaps in leadership, then execution and results are going to be pretty much, we're going to be challenged by that. So in the leadership sphere, what I find is that sales managers, we as sales managers, we send our people to sales training. Mm-hmm. Send them. Right. And we don't necessarily sometimes know what happens in those sales workshops or training. We don't know what they're trained on. And so they come back to us, and we don't necessarily make a plan to try and extract the benefits of what that training delivered. Right. Sometimes we also know what they're trained on because the facilitator comes to us, come to our location or facility, and we still send them to the training room. Yeah. Whenever people are heading, we didn't look in, and we don't talk to the facilitator and say, okay, tell me exactly what you're doing. Or better yet, which is a better side of things, which is the way I would prefer to have it, is developing the workshop and its outcomes with you, the sales manager or the sales leader. So that you know what is it that they're trained on. And so there's a gap because we spend money investing in the development in terms of the competencies and the skills, but we're not necessarily reaping or optimizing the benefits we could have had.
Right. So I'm really glad that you went in that direction, because here's a question that I have for you, right?
Yes.
Do you believe that companies are using sales training as a strategic thing to really develop their sales, or they're just using it as checking the box to say, okay, we have done sales training with the team, so checkbox for that year.
For the most part, I would say 50-50 or 60% checkbox, and the other 40 probably planning.
Right.
Here's the difference. When a small business or a one-man shop or a large organization, when somebody who owns the results believe in sales competency and training, it gets budgeted. And so they believe strongly that whatever goals that they have or the revenue plans that they have or to sell more of this product, they need to equip the salespeople. Then the training gets weaved into strategy.
Right.
Because they understand that bit.
Right.
When it is not fully understood, but we think that, yes, man, we need some good salespeople, train them up. Then, and you may have a training manager, or you may have a sales manager who don't really understand how all the moving parts come together. Then we tick the box and we say, yes, we trained. And I get a nice appraisal with 4 and get some bonus or something.
Right. But in an instance like that, right? And again, I'm putting the question to get your feedback, because I've had those things while working with organizations, and of course, being a consultant now. How would you go about managing that expectation? Because I have seen people I've seen managers send their sales executives to a conference, which is like for 1 day, or they want to do a 2-day training, and they have an expectation that they're going to just start selling the numbers. All of a sudden, everything is going to start changing by the next week. If it is that you said that they don't have that mindset, how do you actually now go about managing that expectation? And what would be one of your messages for sales managers, owners, business unit heads as to, really having the right expectation?
You know what? That would be a miracle if anybody attended something and came back and suddenly being transformed. I've never seen that. Not from my own self. Never seen that. Yeah. You know what? I had a manager some years ago, long time ago. And whenever you were going to a training, there was a conversation before you went to that training.
Yeah.
You said, come here, Beverly, come here. I can call her name, Anne-Marie Grant. Where are we sending you again? What are you going to be doing again? And you say, okay, so what are the main areas that they're going to focus on when you're going? These are the things they say. Or if you don't know, go and find out. When you come back to the office, the first conversation you're having is, what exactly is going to change around here?
Right.
What are you going to be delivering differently? How are your routines, your structure, your process, whatever? We have to get something out of this. And this is how she spoke. Right. And so we have to be deliberate about it and be accountable.
Yes.
And be consistent.
Yes.
So deliberate means that, yes, we know we are going to this thing. What is it about again? Yes. Okay. Can you put together something? What will you be looking for? Very focused. What are you looking for when you get there? What you want to learn. And so, okay, then I'm going to be focusing on these areas. It's not necessarily the sales manager's job or the leader's job. It's the person who is going. It is their job.
Their job.
When they return, how will they share with the rest of the team, share with the rest of their peers or their organization? What is the 3 or 4 things or 1 or 2 things that they are going to implement? What are the insights that they gathered or garnered as a result of going? And what are you going to change or implement? What are the tasks, the many things that you're going to do to get to this one thing that you want to change? Because you can't change things by saying, oh, I want to improve the sales numbers. That doesn't get plucked out of any air. Or you say, oh, I'm going to increase sales by 20%. And then because you say it miraculously happens. Nothing happens like that. So you have to be deliberate, focused, and be consistent. And the other thing is measuring. Measuring, correct. Another thing I find that we do not want to hold ourselves accountable to measuring stuff, because we think that whatever we implement is the right thing and it should deliver what we expect it to. We don't look at where we were before, look at where we want to get to, and identify how we are moving from one place to the next, and measure if it is effective or if it makes sense or we need to change it. So in terms of just garnering the benefits of training or seminar, that's my advice. Plan before you go. When you come back, set some very small tasks, identify the outcome that you want, be accountable to them.
All right. And I'm really glad you said that, because there's something that I actually even write in my proposals. It's under the tagline ROE versus ROI, meaning I set the return on expectation as opposed to just the return on investment, because I've had senior leaders asking me, okay, so how soon can we see the return? And I like to make sure and I let them know, listen, what you're supposed to see first is a change of maybe behavior, then the activities, then in relation to things like the results, and then of course you should get the respective return based upon the level of work and effort that's being done. So I'm really, really happy that you mentioned that.
You're so right.
Yeah, there is a big gap in relation to expectations, even for the salespeople as well, because I think they themselves, and that point that you made there about accountability, in terms of setting the expectation from the leadership standpoint to say, when you get back here, this is what we need to, because of course that training isn't just for you alone, but we will take that and impart it to the rest of the team so that we all get better.
Yes, absolutely. The point you made about mindset change, there are some statistics out there that say that once you're trained, within about 30 days, you will see about 22% increase in performance.
Mm-hmm.
Where there is no reinforcement or there is no deliberate plan to improve or activate or just reinforce the concepts that were taught, meaning make them live on the job. After 30 days to 45 days, you start seeing that up slope being a downward slope.
Downward slope,
because people forget it. And we're all human beings. I'm a human being. I will forget it.
Yes.
Unless there is an activity that is linked to my job and there's someone partnering or collaborating with me to hold me accountable. And there are some real results that we can measure.
Yeah. And I like that you said that as well, because if I normally consider it sometimes to be a little bit of an energy drink. People get fired up, the training program comes to like a Monster drink or a Red Bull. They're fired up for, let's say, about 5 or 8 hours, and then after that it just dies. And that can last now. And the actionable in terms of they now repeating those tasks, those things that they would have learned on those 2 days, is really again that accountability. The sales now saying, you know what, I really want to make this. The company in most instances has made an investment in them to send them to this program, which is also another question I'll bring to you, by the way, right? To send them to this program. So now they should really now be taking that into their own thing to develop themselves. So let me just ask you this other question. This observation of mine, that I mostly see sales professionals only going to programs if the company sends them, not always on their own initiative to say, well, you know what, I want to develop in this particular area. Is that something that you have seen as well, or it may just be on something on my end?
No, it's I think it's right across the globe.
Right.
Unless you see what's in it for me, and this is a technical sales term, you know it, right?
Yes, correct.
What's in it for me? And sometimes I do not have the insight as a salesperson to see what's in it for me, to invest in the thing for myself. And sometimes even when they're sent to the program or to the workshop, they're still there not knowing what's in it for me. Boy, they say I'm to come, so I'm here. I've heard that so many times. So I try and change that mindset once you enter. So the sales job, I think, is one of the most transparent job and business owner kind of job that exists.
Right.
You literally pay yourself if you are in the right organization where the compensation model is related to your performance.
Right.
And I've seen where people they're good at selling, or they're average, earning some money, but they never did understand how they could improve their performance exponentially and deliver extraordinary performance that is linked to their own personal goal, buying my house, buy a car, send my kids to school, those things. They didn't see that gap that existed between what they're doing now and what their potential is. And once you open that mindset and you see how the house is possible, the family vacation to Dubai is possible, the car is possible, then you are no longer working on the company's targets or quota. You're working on buying your house.
Right.
So when you are able to make that mental shift and mindset to what I want out of it, then it no longer becomes them sending me or them want me to go or whatever. And I want to bring up this point as well. It's not just about sending to a physical location, because there's blended learning now, whether it's online or I do it myself or free YouTube it out if you want to, improve your sales competence. But it requires time. You have to spend 15 minutes probably each day to look at, to get technically sound in your sales skills.
Yeah, Bev, you said so many things here, and it just raised my pause, because you're basically singing to the choir, right? These are the things I try to encourage people to do. Don't just look at it from the standpoint of you just come into work. It's not a matter of compliance, they send you, so you're going. But use this as an opportunity to take advantage of an opportunity where you can grow so much more and get all the things that you want to achieve. That's one of the reasons why I love sales. I like telling people, sales to me is the only profession where I can tell my boss what to pay me every single month, but it's dependent upon me. Plus, I could work for my salary months in advance, because again, I'm looking at my level of activity, how hard I'm going into the job. But you're right, it is really a mindset shift. And by saying that, I want to segue a little bit into, we're going to go into a little bit of the entrepreneurship, but I'm going to ask you this question and we're going to eventually get there. Should salespersons consider themselves entrepreneurs or business people in that regard, in the business of sales, or just live under the term sales rep?
Oh, absolutely. You're a business owner. You're an entrepreneur. Other jobs other than sales, you have this process, you have things written for you, you can follow it to a T.
Yes.
In the sales world, you're out in the streets. If you're not physically out in the streets, you are exposed to people on the telephone. And your routines and your process and the structure that you put in and the types of sales conversations and the commitment and the consistency, that is your toolkit to run in your own sales business, right? So you're running your own business. You can either earn 5,000 US this month, or I determine I'm earning 15,000 US in October.
Yes.
And as you say, I tell my boss what to pay me once we arrange what those percentages are.
Exactly.
So yes, you are indeed a business owner. Well, I am a business owner. I'm going to be thinking about every day where the money is coming from.
Exactly.
And how am I going to change this, do that, strategize, look for opportunities all the time. I'm always curious. I don't let any information fly past my ears, because anything I'm listening to what's in it for me. Yeah. What are the opportunities? What am I curious about? What is going on now in the environment? And that's how salespeople ought to operate. So you're always a salesman in the pharmacy, and you're looking at the shelves, looking at what you sell. You're in the line, depending on what you sell makeup, I don't know. You're always looking, you look through the eyes of curiosity all the time, because you're looking for opportunities to grow how much money you earn. Your name is not on the wall of the business. It's not registered in your name, but without you, that business cannot continue to operate as a going concern without selling anything.
All right. So let me ask one question. This is a trend that I've seen happening here for some years, right? Where we have companies offering attractive base salaries to sales professionals, to the point where I think sometimes it's so attractive that they don't really have to work to get the sale.
Yes.
Yes, there's a commission component, but because all of the expenses, now mind you, I'm not saying people shouldn't be well paid, especially if you're a very good salesperson.
Yes.
But I think the dynamic has changed so much just to attract salespeople that the return, companies are not getting back the return, because again, the base is way higher than what the commission, the base is way higher.
Yes.
And it's taking care of everybody's needs. So nobody.
And the piece you're responsible for.
That's correct.
So you're not responsible for your base. Right?
Correct, yeah.
But there are two ways to look at that, right? We have to look at strategy again and the maturity of the company, etc. You have hunter type salespeople, and you have farmer type salespeople. Depending on the maturity of the organization, where are you, or the type of product that you're selling. More complex products require account managers. So where you're looking for farmer type, go hunt sales all the time, depending on if you just start, then that's what you want. You want people to go find the business for you. In that scenario, the base needs to be lower, and most of your salary is on the performance piece, but it has to be attractive.
Attractive, correct.
It has to be attractive. You can't have it where the base is very small and then I have to work 36, 40, 50, 70 hours to earn my money. So you have to structure that properly. Where it is that is a more complex product and you're looking for account management, meaning that the person has to be there as relationship managers. They have to do deep business development. They have to do writing grand proposals, for example, bringing in other kinds of partners. Then usually what you find is that the base is higher. And the commission is lower. Right. So it depends on where you are. But however, generally though, there are companies who do not understand the structure of the compensation is linked to strategy a lot. And people don't link both. They just say, this is what I'm going to pay you because this is what I've seen out there. They haven't looked and say, oh boy, for this year, we want to grow and get a lot of new customers. And so we are going to structure the compensation based on that. They don't link both of them, so they'll pay them high. And then when you pay high base, I can tell you, I see salespeople who are comfortable on the base.
Yes.
They're fine. They don't need to earn any more money. And so you could beat the horse until you're not going to get anything out of them. So what I say is look at the maturity of the business, the strategy you have, what you want to accomplish, and you structure the compensation to match that.
Great. That is, I made notes of that because I love that point of hunter and farmer. Because it now that you're mentioning it, it makes so much sense because the hunter is definitely going to go out there. And of course, the farmer is just going to give you build the relationships, nurture the accounts, that type of stuff. Whereas the hunter is going to look out there for that kill, the new business, take it from the competition, that type of stuff. So that is excellent, Beverly. Thank you so much for sharing that. So now let's just segue as we were talking about entrepreneurs or salespeople being entrepreneurs. There are a lot of salespeople who now venture into their own business. Me, I left my organization, my corporate world 18 months ago, thereabout. And I'm now into this particular space. And of course, I'm realizing that it is a tough world, right? There's a lot of work in terms of really managing a business. It's not just maybe doing sales to bring it in. And I know, of course, you've had that level of experience as well with Hulaine. And make sure I'm just confirm that I'm saying that properly. I'm pronouncing the name correctly at the company.
My company name?
Yes.
Hulaine Strategic Services.
Hulaine Strategies. Yes. So I really want to now ask you to share a little bit as to what that experience has been for you, for the time that you've actually been doing it, because what I'm seeing here is that there's a lot of growth happening in terms of people who are now wanting to become entrepreneurs. They're interested in leaving their job to become full-time entrepreneurs. They may not have a lot of sales acumen. I just want to put that out there. But at the end of the day, just to share from a different perspective, because I've shared it a number of times with mine. What is that life like? What does that change like? Whether you're in sales, whether you're moving from marketing and you want to go full time, how can you share with them as to what are some of the things that they should be paying attention to, and how ready should they be for everything to come with that, the success and the challenges?
Okay, wow, that's a big question.
Yeah.
That's a big question. I would say preparation is key.
Yeah.
Prepare. And prepare financially and from a mindset perspective. Prepare. How are you going to take care of yourself over, I don't know, I would give it at least 12 months. I would say make sure you're financially okay for at least 12 months.
Right.
Prepare your mind. Entrepreneurial world is not the same as corporate. And it is even worse when you are like a senior executive like I was. I was at executive level. So therefore, I direct and I have a whole army of people to do the stuff that I needed to get done, right?
Yeah.
And I also have supporting, marketing, you know, this, that, all of those things. Man, come and fix the desk when it's not working. Whatever. People do the PO, accounts does. In the entrepreneurial business, you're the garbage man. You are the person dressed in your suit to deliver the pitch at the board to whichever high-level organization. You are from the janitor to there. And then that's my personal experience, and maybe that will help me to kind of explain it a little better. After I left my corporate job, I think I had 2 gigs immediately after, which was nice and bright. Oh my goodness. I left because of circumstances. I was already in telecoms, I think, for 20-something years. And I decided that it is time to leave telecoms and do something else.
Right.
And I've always wanted to be in sales development because I did pretty well at it in my corporate job. So I say, let's go share what I have. For the first 8 or 9 months of 2016, my head was in a space. I needed to understand how to transfer what I have, all of this great knowledge and experience, into how I deliver it, how I make it benefit, how I deliver value, and how I operate, because that space was new to me. I spent a lot of time, months in my own home, digging, reading, preparing. I must have drafted at least 10 company profiles. I must have described myself 20 times. You understand? How is it? And what am I going to say to people when you say that you are X? Prepare. Preparation is key because you have to get out right. So prepare, plan, and be genuinely and sincerely interested in helping people. Genuine and interested, and you have to be sincere about it in helping people. And the money at first may not be, don't let the money drive you. Don't let the money that people have to pay drive you. If you drive how you want to make a change in people's lives or the businesses that you want to encounter in your delivering your product, drive that. That has been my personal experience. And you have to understand, you're just that. You don't have everything that everybody else has. And why should they trust you?
True.
Why should people trust you? And that question you need to answer for yourself and be very comfortable in answering that question. Why should people trust you with my money and my people? Answer the question for yourself and feel good and comfortable about it. And mine has been a journey. I didn't went out there and blast. I took steps and baby steps very strategically. And I have a lot more to do. I think I just started 3.5 years, but I haven't done a lot yet. And I work with what I'm comfortable with. Before I start something, I know I'm delivering 150% of it. That's how I am naturally. So when you get it, you're good. And so I could share a whole lot more, but preparation, financially. Oh, you asked me about mindset. Yes. There are going to be days when you say, this is not for me. This is for somebody else. There are going to be days when you say, boy, I'm giving up this thing. I'm going to look at work. In my first 12 months of leaving, I got about 2 job offers. I contemplated 1 whole week on 1 job. I got everything there was in the book in terms of money and all of these nice things. And the most painful thing was thinking about it. And I wrote and said, this is how I can help you from a consulting and training perspective. I didn't say no, because I don't want to close the door. I still want to help you, but not in a 9 to 5. Needless to say, about 1.5 years later, I was doing workshops in consulting role for the same company who offered me the job. So that was great.
Wow, that is brilliant.
I was able to help. But there are going to be days, man, when you just feel like it's giving up. But your purpose and your passion and your heart, those are the things that are going to drive you. Because if you don't have those things, then you're going to find all the other excuses that exist to give up. And giving up is not part of the real entrepreneurial journey.
It's not part of the journey. And Beverly, you, as I said, you're seeing that, and I've been there. You know, I mean, it's, as I say, it's only 18 months for me, but in December, in November, actually, I remember calling a friend. We were just talking about it over the weekend. And I was sharing certain things as to where I am now. But he was saying, Lyndon, do you remember that last November, you were ready to say, you know what, I'm throwing in the towel, you know? Because so many things have changed for me. Lifestyle has changed.
Yes.
Income has changed. You know, before I do something, I have to think about it in terms of the money. Where's the money going to come from that I'm not going to spend?
Definitely, yes.
It's so hard to get it now. I want to spend it. You know, so many different, so many different things would have happened being a full-time entrepreneur that and it does so much. It does a lot for you, because for me, it's really humbled me, honestly. In terms of knowing that I have to work really, really hard. And I love the fact that you spoke about being genuine in terms of what it is that you give.
Yes.
Because sometimes people still tell me, but Lyndon, you are giving so much and you're not charging people what they think that I should be charging them. And for me, it's funny, because I can charge you $20, which is a premium, and I can charge you $1. And the person that I'm charging $1, I still treat them as though I'm giving them $20 worth of work. Yes. I don't personally know how to do anything else other than my best.
Yes.
You know? Yes. And I think that for me, I am beginning to see the results of that. Yes. But it does take a while. And as you said, you have to build that name, build that credibility. Why should a company now give you their money?
Yes.
And that is a hard question to answer initially, because you don't have to answer it for yourself. I'll give you one
for yourself.
thing, as you were saying it there. Like, it's easy for me to tell a company how to do their value proposition and their script and everything else. I sometimes catch my tail to write it for myself.
Exactly. Right. And so you have empathy.
Yes.
Sometimes you have compassion.
Yeah.
And I have a new respect. I coach CEOs who have companies as well, and they don't fully understand the sales process, and they have a sales team. I coach those. And I've been in the trenches with them, and I have a new respect for business owners. And from them, I learned so much by being a part of their team. Mm-hmm. I learned so much, and I apply the same thing that I learned.
Yes.
Because one of the things I see about, entrepreneurs who are very optimistic and positive, they decide they're doing this. It's a decision.
Yes.
I'm doing it.
Done deal. Yeah.
And they may outline 1 or 2 reasons why they're doing it, right? And all when everything else is going wrong and it looks like persons are not buying into it and it's not going to go right, we are doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And no excuses. And guess what? They do it and it gets done. Then 4 or 5 months later, okay, where was that again? People are doing it without even realizing that they're doing it. I learned so much by being an executive coach and just by training salespeople. And when I'm training people, I meet some great people with potential. Some persons don't realize even how great they are. And so it's a refreshing and rewarding journey, because you're not just saying I'm giving or I'm telling or I'm preaching. I'm appreciating the process and the journey and the customers and the people who are part of the process, because I learned from them.
Yes.
Just one point, the process, I just mentioned it, the process.
Yes.
It's important that you respect the process.
Yeah.
Respect the process and the journey, and appreciate the process, because nothing is overnight.
True.
There's no instant success.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Not instant oatmeal. Oh my. Beverly, I would just like to say thank you so much for accepting to be part of this. This, as I say, it's a video series. We are actually going to be turning it into a podcast.
Yes.
So we'll definitely be sharing with you. I know that the folks that will be listening to this is going to get so much value in terms of everything that you would have just said. What I want to ask you to do is let the audience know as to where they can follow you, reach out to you. What are your handles, contact information? Where can they go searching and find you and your company?
Okay, right. So I have a website, hulaine.com. I'm on Instagram, Hulaine Sales Training, and there's a Facebook page, Hulaine Strategic Services.
Right.
Beverly Thompson, personally, Beverly Thompson, I'm very active on LinkedIn. So you can find me on LinkedIn. If I may make a personal plug,
sure.
I have a workshop coming up on September 24. where we are focusing on mastering the sales conversation. And we're going to teach you how to access decision makers, how to write that value proposition, how to be credible, and how to have that sales conversation that win you big deals. So that's it.
Wonderful. Beverly, again, thank you so much for your time and for sharing. Guys, again, this has been installment 2 of the Sales and Entrepreneurship series. We will have another one coming up next week, and we're going to have Curtis Toussaint. He has the book the name of that book is called Work What Nobody Says About It. Beverly, I would also share that with you as well.
Thank you.
So thanks again for watching, guys. Have a great week. Bless.
Yes, thank you.
All right. And Beverly, that's it. That is